Today is Juneteenth, very, very important day to the black community of Springfield, Massachusetts, and the United States of America. Now, because of the COVID-19 coronavirus, which we will defeat, and I can't say enough about the Commissioner of Health and Human Services, Helen Carlton-Harris, and our team. She's done a wonderful job as a point person on our team. Let's give her a big round of applause. The Brethren always holds a fantastic event, usually on a Saturday afternoon, and at the Ray Jordan Senior Center, and it's just a fantastic event. Food, thought, entertainment, a play which is put forth, and I always have a great time participating in it. Unfortunately, again, due to COVID-19 and the coronavirus, like many other events, we can't hold those types of gatherings. But as I have done with other events and significant dates that should be marked in the history of Springfield, Massachusetts, United States of America, we always look to do something out of respect to all that came before us. So I'm so very happy that the Brethren is here. C. Jackson and the rest of the crew is here, and C will be saying a few words on behalf of the Brethren. The Masons are here, and I know they're always very sharp in their tuxes too, but it's a little warm today. State Representative Bud Williams is here, and he'll be saying a few words. Fire Commissioner B.J. Calvi is here. Captain Kurt Marcellin. District Chief, that's right, I thought of that. I wanted to get that straight. Chief, and when I saw you too, Kurt, I said Chief too, is here, so we appreciate that, but we wanted to make sure we mark it. So I don't think I missed anybody else that is here. Oh, I got the Commissioner, He's got Helen, and Commissioner Calvi's out chasing those fireworks. Go get those fireworks, I appreciate it. I know. So, we have an official proclamation, and we are going to raise the flag also. Joe, thank you very much. A proclamation. City of Springfield, Massachusetts, Mayor Dominic J. Sarno, home of the Basketball Hall of Fame. Whereas, on June 19th, 1865, 2.5 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation became official, Major General Gordon Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration commemorating the ending of slavery in the United States, dating back to 1865. It was on June 19th that the Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, landed in Galveston, Texas, with the news that the war had ended and that the enslaved were now free. Note that this was 2.5 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which became official on January 1st, 1863. And whereas the General Order Number 3 states, the people of Texas are informed that in accordance with the proclamation for the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights, rights of property, between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes between employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts, and they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere. And whereas the reactions to this profound news range from pure shock to immediate jubilation. While many lingered to learn of this new employer and employee relationship, many left before these offers were completely off their lips of their former masters, attesting to the varying conditions on plantations and the realization of freedom. And whereas on this day in hundreds of cities across the country, people of all races, nationalities, and religions are joining hands to truthfully acknowledge a period in the United States history that impacted and continues to influence our society. 154 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, the struggles for human rights, justice, economic parity continue to haunt our country. Therefore, I, Dominic J. Sarno, Mayor of the City of Springfield, do hereby proclaim Friday, June 19th, 2020, as Juneteenth in the City of Springfield. And I urge all our citizens to join with me in acknowledging this important occasion and the life of our community and our country. And I hand wrote here, we must always remember and never forget good health and continued success, and God bless. I will hand this to Mr. C. Jackson, who is one of our board members, commissioners on our Community Police Hearing Board, and then I will bring up State Representative Bud Williams to say a few words, and then C. Jackson. I know Senator Welch has also joined us, and I believe Councilor Marlo Brown is also here. So C, this is for you. And then, and I'll bring up State Representative Bud Williams. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Protocol has been set. What a magnificent day, and it's very rewarding. Juneteenth Day. And I was so fortunate on yesterday to file a bill along with Representative Domes, Senator Candia, Cumberfoot, to make Juneteenth Day a holiday in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It's been a long time coming. That deserves a clap. I know people don't get excited for Juneteenth, but we're gonna get excited because there's a lot of changes going on in this country now. And this is I have a fortunate episode every Friday morning being on with former State Rep Ben Swan, who really keeps me grounded and really sets the tone. Now, we know how monumental this day is, and the reason why we want to make it a national, a paid holiday in Massachusetts, it deserves it. You know, Black history is part of the American history. That's the next phase. We're going to make sure that the American history incorporates Black history. You can't talk American about George Washington without talking about Marcus Garvey. Okay. Now, we know the history. In 1863, Lincoln signs the Emancipation Proclamation. And he did it to free the slaves, but at that point he had another interior motive. He needed soldiers to help fight that war. Even though the soldiers were mistreated, they flocked to fight the war, the Civil War. They flocked, and we were successful. Then in 1865, 2.5 years later, Texas, which has always been a renegade state, when they came to the Union, they were a renegade state. They used to call them the Wild Wild West, and that's how they acted. They knew and heard that Washington is way over there and Texas is way down there. But they knew that slavery had been set free by Lincoln. So until the Union gained control of Texas, the Union soldiers gained control of Texas, and that's when General Sherman declared giving Black people 40 acres and a mule. So that's where the history comes in. We still haven't got 40 acres and a mule. Amen. And Dr. King says they gave us a check that was marked insufficient funds. So when you say we want our 40 acres, and that's a lot of money for a lot of Black people. But that's what the Special Act did in 1865 after Texas, the slaves were freed. We know it's important, and we know the changes sweeping this country. We're going to get a lot of changes. Ben Swan said to me this morning, we've been fighting these issues for a long time. Chokeholds, excessive force, rubber bullets, tear gas, dogs, water hoses. This is nothing new. But he reminded me what is new is the discussion is broader now. You have more people involved. Watching the dogs in the 60s in Alabama with water hoses on Black people, when white America saw it, they were stunned. That's when the civil rights movement moved. 8 minutes and 40 some odd seconds. I can't breathe. The whole world saw it. These atrocities are being committed day in and day out. We think we made a lot of progress. We made the hiring and all that, but the treatment of a social class of people has to change. So I'm just so happy to be here, fighting on the forefront, trying to make this country and this city a much better city. We need reform. We need to change the hearts of men. We need to change the mindset. Legislation is just not going to do it. We need people to change, to look at people in a different light. That's why history is so important. You understand and see the value of individuals. You see the contributions of black people. And oh, by the way, we were here before 1776. That was the war, the Revolutionary War. We were here in Jamestown back in the 1600s. If you want to go a little step before that, we were here before that. So we are here. We've been here. We're going to be valued. And this is a teaching moment in time. We're going to make some real progress because you have a lot, as Representative Swan said, Ben Swan, former rep, said, we have a lot of people who are involved. The discussion has changed. Black Lives Matter is being chanted in every single state in this union. So with that being said, I just want to thank the mayor for doing this and the brethren. And I do have a citation. I don't know who's going to accept that on behalf of and I want to thank C. Jackson, Ben Swan, Ray Jordan. I spent the night on those steps many times. Spent those nights on that steps trying to make this a better city so we can get people in the fire department and get people in City Hall. This just didn't happen. Osmosis doesn't make this happen. And I want to see my good friend, Ms. Tracy. How are you doing, Councilwoman? But certainly, C. Jackson has been my mentor a very long time with Ben and Ray and Rick Hurst. They fought the battle that I might be where I am and you can be where you are, and LeVar, you can be where you are. It does make a difference, but it's sacrifice that makes a difference. This is not going to be easy. It's not going to happen. And when you do good things, it takes time. It takes much, much time. So see, this is just a proclamation to you and to the brethrens and to Eddie. We have to see. It just recognizes your contribution, and commitment to the community. And I got a couple of phone calls this morning that said, where are you going to be serving the food at? We give away a lot of food on Juneteenth Day. I mean, so I told them not this year, and maybe next year, when we find a virus, when we find a vaccine, or we get a cure for this. But remember, this pandemic is not over. It's not over. And we did a Facebook Live with Commissioner Colton yesterday. I want to thank you again for your expertise. It's not over. So let's treat this seriously. People are dying every day, but I want to thank the mayor and Helen and your staff. You've done a great job in the city. You protected the city really, really good. Our numbers are outstanding. I'm not criticizing anybody else. But this is to you, C, and to the brethren on behalf of what we do on a daily basis in your Juneteenth celebration and your commitment to the black community.
I'm one of the only female brothers.
That's right, there's three of them. Yeah. You got it?
Sophie, Denise, and Helen.
That's right.
Well, let me put my mask on.
You got it?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much. We're also, again, we're joined by City Councilor Mallow Brown, City Councilor Tracy Whitfield, by our Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer, Attorney Talia G. is here, which we appreciate. I know Joey DeCaro, our Deputy, and Tom Belton, there's our Director of Veterans Services, too. I'm going to bring up C. Jackson again. C's been a dear family friend for many years, and one of our longest-serving board members, board members of the Community Police Hearing Board, Civilian Community Police Hearing Board. And he's going to introduce another friend, Fast Eddie Anderson, Coach Anderson. We were classmates at the High School of Commerce, and he was that speedy guard that if you looked for a second the other way, he was by you down there, either dish it out to assist or fast break, layup, hoop. So put your hands together for C. Jackson and Fast Eddie Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for having this down here. Like we said, we generally have it at Ray Jordan Center every year, our annual picnic for Juneteenth. But since the virus and academic, we have to move it down here. We want to appreciate all the things you do in City Hall. I don't want to belong it, Representative Bud. I don't know if you're a minister now or what's up. He's part of the brethren, but we want to appreciate that history you gave, Representative. But I want to bring on Eddie Anderson, who's now, he's taken my job as the District Deputy Grand Master of the 3rd Masonic District of the Prince Hall Grand Lodge. He wanted to just say a couple words for you. But to all that here, I want to thank you, and we got to keep moving on. Keep our head up and whatnot, and start loving each other. That's the problem. We got to start loving each other like we love family members. And Senator Wards, like to see you. Looking good that time, buddy. Can I use it next week? Without ado, Ed Anderson.
Good morning. I'd like to thank Mayor Dominic J. Sarno and everyone for the Juneteenth celebration. We Prince Hall Masons totally support this, and we share similar principles with Juneteenth as far as faith, charity, and brotherhood. We believe Juneteenth brings the community together, and we definitely celebrate the ending of slavery. With that being said, I want to thank you for allowing me to be here and have a little platform, and thank you. Good morning.
All right.
No, I already asked him. You're the one. I know. I'm gonna now bring up another dear friend, good friend, Senator Jimmy Welch, please. Welch, Senator, come on up.
Good morning, and it's certainly a pleasure. It's an honor to be here with everyone, and this is a tremendous event, a tremendous day. Unfortunately, the Brethren could not host their annual event this year at the Jordan Senior Center. Had the pleasure to attend that for the past couple years, and it really truly is a momentous day in the history of the United States, Juneteenth, and it really is an important day, obviously, here in Springfield as well, for us to recognize the importance of that day and the importance of that moment in the history of the United States. So I just really want to thank the Brethren, the Mayor, for all of our community leaders that are here today to really come out, show their support, and really understand the importance of what Juneteenth is and what it means, not only to hear us here in Springfield, obviously, but to everybody across the nation. And as we're in difficult times right now, it's events like this that bring the community together to celebrate, or to recognize, I should say, events in our history that mean so much to our history and have really, as Representative Williams had said, Black history is the United States history. United States history is Black history, and there's no truer statement. And this type of event, recognizing Juneteenth, is really just puts an exclamation point on that. So thank you, Mayor, thank you, the Brethren, and thank you everyone for coming out today. Thank you.
I know it's hot out here. I'm just going to have Councilors Mallow Brown and Councilors Tracy Williams say a few words, and then we're going to go raise the flag. So put your hands together for Councilors Tracy Whitfield and for Councilors Mallow Brown. Come on now.
I want to thank everyone for being here. My mentors are standing behind you. Where it comes from, Rep Swan, Rep Jordan, Cephas, Mr. Bruce, the mayor himself. These are people who made us. And I understand their fight. I understand why we're marching. But right now, I'm the generation who knows now it's time for the ask. So through me, my ask is free tuition for all black kids. That's where we're starting. Thank you.
She says you have the money.
I got the kids.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Sarno, for calling me up to speak. Thank you to the brethren for putting this together. I just wanted to say that I'm very appreciative that on the state level, legislation is being discussed about making Juneteenth a holiday, and I think that it should be a holiday on a national level because of the suffering and the pain that black people went through for over 400 years. We need another day to celebrate the freedom of our people. I wasn't expecting to speak today, but I just want to thank everybody for coming out and just enjoy this beautiful day. I took the day off, and I'm going to enjoy it and celebrate with my family. Have a great day.
All right, everybody, come on,